Good morning. How you guys doing? It's Mike back with the thought of the day on October 31st, 2024. First, I'm going to give honor and praise to Ahaya Shoahaya, Hashem Yeshaya, and Ruach Dash. That's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in Hebrew. Then I like to open with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May your will, not mine, be done. Today I want to talk about how pride, dealing with pride and and making emotional decisions, continue to hamper our young black men um, and the other children of Israel too. It's just something that's been going on for years, and it's really just went to another level, man. As you see this uh, situation goes down with the rapper Little Durk, who just got arrested, and you think about how everything transpired, how everything happened, and this has been a trend that has been in our community for years. Our young men not knowing how to deal with pride and then make emotional decisions, reacting emotionally. And this kind of trend could set back to the fact that fathers not being in their lives. My generation and the generation under me failed these young boys by not sitting down and teaching them how to think rational and make logical decisions, how to think things out before you even think about making that decision, how to deal with your pride when things don't go your way, when your pride get hurt, and how to handle that. These kids lack those tools, therefore they make these emotional decisions like that. You get what I'm saying? When you look at the situation with this young guy, leading back to it, from what I'm hearing, it was a situation that happened between him and the rapper NBA YoungBoy, where a beef happened over a girl. You know what I'm saying? And it should have been a situation where they could have sit down and had a conversation. Because once you have these kind of conversations, you realize that this beef is really not about nothing. That beef spilled into a beef with the deceased rapper King Von and one of the NBA YoungBoy rappers, Quando Rondo. King Von, the beef transpires with them. Some words was exchanged over line, I guess, and King Von sees this, heard this young fella was, King Von was at a parking lot in Atlanta, and he heard the young fella was there, and again, he reacts emotionally, goes over, swings on the young guy, who, homeboy Little Tim, reacts emotionally and kills King Von. Now Little Durk, that was his guy, so he's feeling the pressure of everybody saying you got to slide for Vaughn. When you gonna slide for Vaughn? Allegedly, now they're saying that he hires the guys to go try to kill Quando Rondo, and they kill this other young fella. All these emotional reactions going on, and it's because we were raised in households when we seen women act emotionally throughout situations, and we never had men to sit us down and talk to us and explain to us the consequences of everything and how to go through everything in your mind before you react. So we have a long trend of young fellas reacting emotionally over situations. Yesterday I was at work, and I had a couple of my guys watching First Time Felons, and this is a movie with Omar Epps and Tretch. It's an old movie, and both of them were very young in the movie, and they had got sentenced to a boot camp for first time felons. And one of the scenes in the boot camp is an epic scene where the one of the sergeants at the boot camp, he takes Tretch has 8 days left to get out of this boot camp, and then he's a free man. Now, if he violates before he gets out of his boot camp, he has to go to prison for 7 years. So 8 days left. The guy sees Tretch dancing with a young girl who was Caucasian. So he calls Tretch over and he baits him into this conversation where he goes after Tretch's pride. He talks about his kids and how his kids are going to be looking at him, and if Tretch don't change, his kids are going to end up in boot camp, and the situation escalates. Now, Tretch's pride is at stake. His pride is hurt, and Tretch ends up punching the sergeant in the face. Now, one of my kids that was watching it, he immediately reacted like, yeah, get him. And when it settled down, the other kid told him, bro, that just cost him 7 years of his life. He's about to go to prison for 7 years. And when the young boy realized what was going on, he immediately changed and looked at me and said, this was a great life lesson. Life lesson, OG. That's what the young kids call me now, OG. He said, thanks for this life lesson. I needed to see this happen. And then when you see Tretch get in the truck when they lead him off to take him to jail, he looks at Omar Epps and the reality hits him of what that emotional decision has cost him. These emotional decisions are what's hurting our young fellas, man. So I'm gonna challenge all of the men out there. Find you a young boy and school them on the consequences of making emotional decisions, man. This book right here, I talked about this book before, RPSA, written by one of my good friends, Terrence Munch Williams. He has 100 entries in this book that talks about how to make decisions and think them out before just reacting emotionally. And he goes through different situations that happen in his life, and he gives you 3 to 4 multiple choice answers at the end of each entry on how would you handle this decision. I read this book with my young fellas, and we talk about, and the young ladies, they chime in too, and we go over each scenario and we talk about different ways of solving these problems, because it has to be something that's, these kids' brains have to be rewired. You know what I mean? And it has to come from the men, has to come by. These women did the best that they could trying to raise these guys by themselves. You know, certain situations are different. Some of them pushed the man away. Sometimes the guy was locked up, or he just wasn't there, or he just didn't care. But at this point, that doesn't matter, because we're in this situation now. We have to be able, so I'm challenging you men out there, grab you a young fella, talk to them, start breaking down to them how to make rational and logical decisions, man. Because these quick decisions and dealing with pride and not knowing how to handle it is costing lives. So one person is going to get killed and the other one is going to be in jail for the rest of their life. We have to help our young fellas deal with their pride and making emotional decisions that would change their life. This is Mike. Enjoy the rest of your day. Shalom.